Hello, this is KiwaniTalk. My name's Ray Scaboria. I'll be the host for this evening's program. KiwaniTalk is a public information program brought to you from the facilities of WDHS at Dearborn High School by members of the Dearborn Kiwanis Club and students that help us with the programs, taping the programs. Today we are very pleased to have as our guest Renea Callery. Renea is the Michigan District of Kiwanis governor. And that's something that takes a while to become.
Yes, it does.
But Renea, why don't we start this way? Why don't we start when you first got involved in our club? You've been in the Dearborn Kiwanis Club for quite a while now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Back in 2016, someone started talking to me about Kiwanis. I never heard of Kiwanis, and I'm like, what is it? And they explained it's a nonprofit. We help the community. We serve the children of the world. I said, okay, let me look into it. So I went to 3 of the other Dearborn clubs to see which one I wanted to join. They're all great clubs, all of them. Some met at lunch, morning and dinner. So I went and met a lot of people, and I landed in Dearborn, the Dearborn Club. And Richard Netlow and Mike Markser greeted me at the door and made me feel very welcome right from the start. And I thought, this is where I need to be, okay? Because I was working and I had nothing to do after work and I wanted to be involved. So right away, the next week, I joined the Dearborn Club. And I sat back for a while and thought, okay, I need to get into something. I don't like sitting around doing nothing. So it took me a couple weeks after. Then Dearborn is known for their peanut sales on the streets, and Don Killian was talking about the peanuts. They needed someone to help do the peanuts. And I'm like, well, I can help do that. And I learned a lesson never to offer right off the bat, because helping is not the word, it's you're doing it. Okay, so come to find out, I was the big goober. And I didn't even know what that meant, but I was told, don't worry about it, you'll figure it out. So basically, the big goober was the peanut chair for our club to do our peanut sales, which is our annual fundraiser for our students in the community. So we had a lot of fun doing that. We wore peanut costumes and we had skits and everybody got involved. And I think my first year I raised about $30,000 with the teams. And so we had a lot of fun. So I was really liking being a part of a great family. And that's what Kiwanis is. It's a family of friends and students. So then I jumped in and was the vice president. And then our president at the time, she did it for like 2 or 3 months and decided to move to Alaska. God love her, and she's still there enjoying every minute of it. So I became president. And looking as president, I thought, what do I do? What is my goal for Dearborn and for the community? So we planned a lot of things, and then Etzel Ford wrote a letter and said, we want to start a Key Club at Etzel Ford. What's a Key Club? Everyone asked. So there was nobody that really had the time to do it. So I raised my hand again. I said, I can help out. So I became the advisor to Etzel Ford.
Can I stick something in here?
Yeah.
We had started a Key Club there before.
Oh.
And what happened was the superintendent of schools at the time was involved with Rotary.
Oh, okay.
And he told the principal over there, he says, I want to have a Rotary Youth Club there. So they basically said, well, we can have 2. So they basically turned
Kiwanis down.
Our club into the Rotary Club.
Oh.
So you put it in the second time.
I put it in the second time, and I wasn't going to let them take it away from us. A great group of students. I've been doing it, since 2017. I've been the advisor at Etzel Ford. And then we have Fortson and Dearborn High, Peggy and Roger. And then as time went on, I was the president of the club advisor. And then someone asked me, there was a new position on the district board, and it was called the partnership chair. And I interviewed over the phone with the executive director, and I'm learning that whether I was good or not, no one else wanted it, so they gave it to me, okay? So I worked hard with the communities in trying to get people to help sponsor the Kiwanis family, the organizations all over Michigan. So that was fun. And then I moved into the fundraising chair, which I really like doing because I put fun into fundraising. And we have a lot of fun. We did different events. So after being the fundraising chair, I took a minute off. And then what we call our next level of leadership is lieutenant governors. So that's where...
Now the lieutenant governor is kind of coordinates activities amongst a group of clubs in an area.
Yes, we have divisions. Okay, so each lieutenant governor may have anywhere from 4 to 11 clubs that they are responsible for, and basically they're the liaison to the governor. So they go and they help grow the clubs, they help them with projects, they meet with them often, they do their division meetings, and just basically they're that touch that you need to talk to if you have a problem or you need something, and then they take it to the governor. So I was the lieutenant governor for 2 years. And my clubs were Dearborn, Dearborn Auto Drive, and then it was Livonia, Colonial Plymouth, Garden City, and Canton. So it was really nice. I really enjoyed being lieutenant governor because you got to go out and visit the different clubs. You know, you met some great people, you get involved with their activities in the community, and you really get a big picture of what the Kiwanis family is about. And every lieutenant governor that I've met has said that lieutenant governor position is the best position to have on the district board because you get to go out and meet so many different people and help their communities. So I did that for 2 years, and I thought, well, I'm done. You know, I'm just going to kind of be in my club and work full-time, continue to work, and just relax for a minute. And then someone approached me and said, I think you should be the governor. And actually, this was before I was even lieutenant governor. Yeah, and I'm like, well, I think you have to be a lieutenant governor before you can be a governor. And they're like, well, we need you to be governor. And I'm like, no, can't do it. So then I went on, became lieutenant governor. And then a year after that was over, I was approached again. We want you to be governor. And I thought about it, really not knowing what all was involved being a governor. So I talked to my family because I knew it was a commitment of time, a lot of time. I talked to my boss, who I'm still working for. He's a doctor, Dr. Crawford. And I said to him, I've been asked to run for governor, but that means I either retire because it involves a lot of time, or I retire, or you let me have days off when I need them. And he said, take as many days off as you need to do Kiwanis, because he supports it, he believes in it, and he didn't want me to retire. I said, okay, I'm going to be taking days off. You know, I have to travel quite a bit. And he said, fine. So there's the first step is you get voted in at the, we call it the Great Lakes Conference. Our annual convention is where we do the delegates and get voted in and change bylaws or add new or delete. So I went there and I got the nomination for governor-elect. So that was a whole year of training. Okay, so training was from an education director who was our first woman international president, Sue Peterson. I was blessed to have her as my education chair. And what we did for a whole year is so then we have my pool of lieutenant governors. So I have 21 lieutenant governors that report to me. And we did training with them every Monday night on Zoom, learning the different parts of Kiwanis, learning leadership, learning how to go out and ask, and a lot of just amazing leadership opportunities. So we did that for a year, and then we spent a weekend in May to do in-person training. So that's where we got to really bond with, see each other in person and bond as a group. So we did that for a weekend. And then last year at Frankenmuth, I was voted in as governor. And it's been a very challenging, exciting, fun time of my life.
I have to stick something in here. Another member of our club is Peggy Pantinelli.
Yep.
And she's been very supportive of you, and she's also got a job. She's currently the lieutenant governor in this area.
Right.
But I know that a lot of the places you go and things you do, she's helped you out some.
Yes.
You know.
Well, the only way I would agree to be governor was if Peggy agreed to be lieutenant governor. Because Peggy is the kind of a background person. She don't like being, because I asked her to come here and sit with us to interview, and she's like, yeah, no. But Peggy's that way, so she agreed to be my lieutenant governor, and I said, okay, then I'll be governor. And yeah, we go everywhere. They call us Roselli and Isles on the TV program, Two Women.
Yeah.
She's my navigator because I'm directionally challenged. So a lot of times she has gotten me, even if she's not sitting in the car in the seat next to me, she talks to me over the phone and tells me how to get places when my computer navigation doesn't work. So yes, Peggy is very involved also with the lieutenant governor, the 4 clubs that she has, and of course our Key Club.
Yeah. And another little comment about Peggy, a little plug for Peggy, is she's always got her camera with her.
Oh, she doesn't know it, but she's really the district photographer.
She's a very good
Everywhere we go, she's got her camera, and she does a great job of taking the pictures and then sending them out to where they go, and puts them in our great newsletter that she does. So yeah, she's amazing. I wish she would run for more, but you know, some people just like being in the background, but yeah, I'm going to go see her in a little bit because we have other things we have to take care of for the students. So, so I became governor, and what I do is, what do? You kind of have a lot of people that report back to you, but we have like executive committee meetings, we have finance committee meetings, we have Great Lakes Conference meetings. There's always a meeting every night of the week, it seems. And my kids will call sometimes, and I'm on a Zoom, because I forgot to ask permission from them. But a lot of times they'll call and I'll say, I'm on a Zoom. So they hang up, but that, you know, they're totally behind me, but the comments are, Mom, we're no longer important to you. Kiwanis is, you know, I mean, every time they call, but they've been very, very supportive. So they know what I'm doing. But there's a lot of little things behind the scene that you wouldn't think a governor, I mean, my goal is whoever's coming up next is to explain to them it's a very time-consuming commitment. Yeah. You should be retired to do this job, really. Working full-time and being a governor can be stressful at times.
Yeah. Now, is there any regular program where the governor helps, you know, the next governor?
Yes. So what we do is there is the governor-elect also goes through training. Now, I was lucky to go to Indianapolis and be trained in person.
Okay.
And then because we're in a tight crunch budget-wise at the international level, this year's Lieutenant Governor-elect Frank Palazzolo was not able to go to training in person, which I felt that whole class needed to. They should have, you know, they trained them on Zoom, and then I brought back information because I had 2 opportunities to go to Indianapolis and 1 in Denver to be trained. He got Zoom. So, you know, I do try to work with him and say, okay, these are the things that you're going to be responsible for. And, you know, again, he has his own agenda. Like, you know, each person goes in, has their own agenda. The person I feel really sorry for is the executive director. He's a paid position, and every year he gets a new leader. Every year he gets a new personality.
Yeah, and he's got to adjust.
Yes,
to
and
that person.
Him and I had that conversation, and I said, I feel really bad for you, and I give you so much credit because every person comes in and has a different attitude, a different agenda. In the past 5 governors have been all women. So he's also had to deal with that. So, you know, now we have Frank coming up as a man, so we'll see how that works out for those 2. But I love doing this, but it is a lot of time. Yeah. You have to have the patience and understanding and the love of the community.
The year is what, the beginning of October
1st to September 30th.
31st, which is the same. That's the same term for governors of clubs.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the same
term.
Same
thing. Yeah. The only difference is Key Clubs is from March to April. Yeah. And so that kind of screws that up. But.
Well, Renea Callery, I have to get this right. I shouldn't. It's Michigan District of Kiwanis Governor.
Yes.
We're going to take a little break now.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll be back right after the break. We're going to have a little commercial about Kiwanis. Join us then.
Who is a kid? Well, that's a kid. And another. Look, a gaggle of them. Or is it a herd? Litter? Pride. But what about her? Tell her she's not a kid. Or him. So how do we tell who is a kid? Height? Age, maybe. But some of us have to grow up faster than others. A kid. A kid. A kid wants to make the world better. And one day, he just might. Is a kid fearless? Vulnerable? Strong? Nervous? Yes. 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 Kiwanis is 600,000 kids at heart doing all the little and big things it takes to help children around the world. Because kids need Kiwanis. All of them.
Hello, I'm Ray Scaboria. We're back here on KiwaniTalk, and we're with Renea Callery, Michigan District of Kiwanis Governor.
Yes.
And we decided, Renee and I, in our break here, that we're going to kind of talk about the key clubs.
Okay.
And we have a bunch of key clubs.
Yes. We have, we're blessed to have 7 key clubs from Dearborn and Dearborn Heights.
Renee, describe a key club first, what it is.
A key club is the high school students, grades 9 through 12, that join Key Club. So Key Club in the school is basically the same thing that the adult club is. They get involved in serving the community. They learn leadership through the events that we take them to, and they meet new people and students, and they also have the same kind of board that we have. So these students have a board of directors at each high school. So we started with Dearborn and Fortson, have been in it for a very long time with Peggy and Roger and Rose Scaboria running those 2 schools. And then Etzel came in. And then when we merged, Dearborn Heights merged into us.
You said Rose and used my last name, so.
Oh, did I?
Accidentally.
Sorry about that, Rose.
Rose, it's Mucci. What's
yeah,
I'm trying to think of her name.
Mucci or something like that. Rose, anyway.
Yeah, Rose, yeah.
Thank you, Rose. Yes, so then when we merged, Dearborn Heights merged into us, they had a couple schools there, and we didn't want them to go away. So we brought in Annapolis and Crestwood. Crestwood used to have a club there years ago, and we had a very active young lady who approached me at a food bank that I was doing and said, we would like to start a key club at Crestwood. I'm like, okay, let's get this rolling. So we chartered Annapolis, Crestwood, and then Melvindale. Michelle and her husband came and joined our club and brought in Melvindale. So then just last month, we were approached through Roger and Jim Roginski that Henry Ford early college kids that are actually at the Henry Ford Community College, they have a key club. It's a high school within there, and they have a key club, and they have over 60 students that wanted to join. So these students run things just like we do. They are responsible, and then we have a district board, okay? Just like we have our district board, they have one. So there are 32 students from all over Michigan, other high school students all over Michigan that come together and a board is chosen. So there's 32 students on the Michigan District Board of Kiwanis Key Club. So they put together, and I'm amazed at every time I go to a annual meeting for them or a fall rally that I know how hard we adults work in putting together just a regular meeting, but taking it to 300, 400 students, putting together projects to do, leadership to do, your times, your meals, you're getting them there, these students do it.
I have to stick in here because we had a couple students who had went to that.
Yep.
And they came to our meeting, and they had all kinds of video
Yep.
and everything.
Yep.
And they were a busy bunch of
Yep.
young people.
Yes.
And they fit in some service activities while they're doing it, and they really seem to enjoy the experience. I mean,
they enjoy it, and I think it's a lot of enjoyment is being together with different kids from all over Michigan, and they bond and they work. And I'm just always blown away of how well these students can put something as big as a conference together twice a year. So, and we are also probably the only one in Michigan on the district board. I believe we have 7 for sure, if not 9 students out of our 500 and some students in our club that are on the Michigan district board.
Yeah. Well, I want to go through our clubs again. It's
Okay.
the 3 Dearborn high schools.
Yes.
Okay. So
I do it alphabetical.
Okay.
Okay. So Annapolis is Dearborn Heights. Crestwood is Dearborn Heights. ABC, Dearborn High School, Etzel Ford High School, Fortson High School. So there's your 3 Dearborn. Then you've got Melvindale, and then you've got Henry Ford Community Early College.
And just because one of the I believe it was the principal of the
and then we have your Builders Club, which is your middle school, and Hibba from the principal at Stout saw one of our programs that we brought in with the pro athletes talking about mental health and wellness. She wanted to come to our club to see how we did that and what we were all about, and she joined that night and said, "Renee, I want a Builders Club." So I said, okay, so we got the paperwork going, so we got her chartered as a Builders Club. I am an advisor to 4 high school. I'm the advisor to 4 of our 7, and then I'm also the advisor to her school, Stout. And she's teaching her kids to be prepared for Key Club when they go to high school. They are already doing fundraisers and doing services in the community, feeding the homeless, putting together goodie bag. So these students are not only Key Club students, they're National Honor Society students, they're government students, but I would easily say that 99.9% of them carry a 4.0 or better grade point average. Some of them are on sports teams in the winter, in the spring, and the fall. So not only are they having fun being in Key Club, learning leadership, but they're also learning time management.
Yeah.
And they're going to a big convention, the international. So the adults have an international convention, and the students also have an international. So it's in Georgia. So of course all of our board wants to go, but it's very expensive. So we've been trying to find ways to, supplement. Our club is very gracious in giving the students, there's a budget, and they're very, very gracious in giving every opportunity that we can to get a student to go there. But so I'll be going to Denver July 4th weekend for our international convention as governor, and then I'll come home for 2 days and fly to Georgia to be with the Key Clubs International, because I'm kind of like, I work with Jordan, who's the DA, so her and I are pretty close in putting this all together, and Peggy's going to be there also, so we're going to have a great time with these kids too.
That sounds like really exciting event to go to.
It'll be work, but I look at going with the Key Clubs as my vacation. It's with people I want to be with. I'm going to have fun with these kids, and we always have a good time, and I don't have to tax my brain too much because it's not my convention, it's the kids.
Yeah. Well, we had an activity very recently, the Memorial Day Parade. Mm-hmm. And a few of us Kiwanians came out, but we had a pretty good representation from many of the clubs.
Yes.
4 or 5 or 6 of them. No,
yeah. Four.
Four
for sure.
Four of them for sure.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy just going up to one and saying hi, and and asking them about what they're doing and so on. And usually they talk about what they might. I ask them what are you interested in college, because virtually all these kids are going want to go to college.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Virtually all of
absolutely,
them, you know?
absolutely. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
And that's important when you say, Ray, that you go up to them because they are shy. They're still students. They're still teenagers. They don't know how to go up to an adult and say, "Hi, I'm so and so." I have a hard time doing that most of the time. So for an adult to go up to them like you do, that's very important, and it means a lot to them.
Well, the other thing about that, if you go up and talk to them, you've given them an example of how you go up to somebody and
Yes.
say hello, and
Yes.
you know,
Something as simple as
so,
that.
So it might help them
Yeah.
learn to do it themselves.
Yeah.
We had one of the young people. Didn't we have a young person that was she the governor for
Yes.
the yes?
Last year she was
She
governor.
was the governor, and very astute
Yes.
young lady.
Well, she's at Harvard now.
Very, very good speaker.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Very
Marwa.
confident, and she wasn't that way when she first joined.
No, not at all.
She grew so much.
Yeah.
while
I
she-
see these kids grow so much, it's not even funny. They grow so much. So, you know, and what we're trying to do now is encourage our clubs, any club that is sponsoring a Key Club. We're putting the word out to reach out to these students and make that first hi. How are you? What are you doing? I'm so-and-so. The kids are not going to do it. They may learn, some will do it, some won't, but we as adults need to let those students know that we are here to support them, we are here to teach them, and that we're going to be there if they ever need anything.
That young lady that was the governor,
Mm-hmm.
I know I talked to her maybe 3 times.
Yep.
Just a short conversation,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I think they appreciate being recognized a little bit.
Oh,
Well, who
absolutely.
doesn't
Yeah.
appreciate that?
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
appreciates.
And that's
being
funny because
recognized.
that club had just chartered. I chartered that club, Crestwood,
Yeah.
and wham. And we chartered, I think, in like February, March. We went to their convention, and she said, "I want to run as treasurer." And I said, "No, you need to run as governor." And she says, "Well, what happens if I don't win?" I said, "You'll never know if you don't take a risk, but I think you can win." So she gave up being treasurer, and she won governor.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
encouragement.
Remind me of her name.
Mara.
Mara.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, that's a little problem for us because a lot of
Oh,
these young
yeah.
people have the Arabic names,
Yeah.
especially the girls.
Yes,
And,
yes.
but I try and learn them
Yeah.
if I can.
Yeah.
This has been great to have you with us.
I appreciate
Renee
it.
Callery, Michigan District Governor of Kiwanis,
Yeah.
or Michigan
Same thing, yeah.
of Kiwanis Governor.
Yeah.
Thank you for
It's a long
joining
title.
us.
Thank you for letting me be here and share with the community all around how important it is to get a Key Club going at your club and to be a part of it, not just sponsor them, be with them.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. You'll probably meet a Key Clubber around town if you live in Dearborn, because we got a
Absolutely.
bunch of them.
Yes.
They're great kids. Join us on Kiwanis again soon. KiwaniTalk again soon.